Hey guys. So the movies I chose to watch for this assignment are October Sky, We Were Soldiers from AMI, and The Hunger Games. Once I started to think about it while I was watching these movies, I realized that they're a lot more similar than I thought. When I first started this project, the main characters in these movies are Homer Hickam, who is seemingly average high schooler in a tiny coal mining town in West Virginia, and Katniss Everdeen, a girl who has learned to live off the land due to growing up in a poverty-stricken area, which is located in present-day Appalachia. We Were Soldiers, the AMI movie, didn't really have a main character. It was more of a documentary type of film. But the most compelling out of these films for me was October Sky. I felt like it represented life in Appalachia the best out of the others. It showed the rural surroundings that are synonymous with the Appalachian region. It also showed small town life where everyone knew everyone. Nobody really strived for greatness or anything better, really. They just strived to survive. Even though I still believe that he is the primary hillbilly figure in this movie, I believe Homer Hickam kind of breaks the mold of the typical hillbilly character. He isn't an idiot. He definitely isn't a monster. If anything, the exact opposite of that. We see that in the opening scene when he's trying to play football. He also strives to better himself and doesn't accept the status quo of working in the mines. Along the same lines as Homer Hickam in October Sky, Katniss Everdeen in The Hunger Games is also the primary hillbilly character, but doesn't really fit into the traditional molds that are synonymous with being a hillbilly. I guess she can kind of be viewed as monstrous, but I guess that's relative to which side of her bow you are on. She's free. This is obvious when we see her break through the fence to go hunting. And she's also a lower class figure. She grew up, pretty poverty stricken. We learn that her family are very poverty stricken. When we see her, she's starving, and she has to take bread from the animals in order to survive. In the AMI film We Were Soldiers, the main hillbilly figures were all the veterans that were interviewed. They were not the most highly educated, and they were also a little backwoods, but they were free. They didn't really take anything from anyone else. And they were also links to the past that told stories that needed to be told. But the movie I thought was the best out of these three was October Sky. It's always been one of my favorite movies growing up, and I would very much recommend everyone to give it a watch. As far as The Hunger Games, one thing that slightly annoyed me was the bridge in technology between the districts. I know this is a point of emphasis that the movie's trying to get across, but I'm just not sure why it has to be such a large gap. You have trains that can hover while going 300 plus miles an hour, but in District 12 they only have wagons and tools from the 1800s. But I thought it was a good movie, don't get me wrong, but it didn't pull me in like October Sky managed to do. There was obviously more publicity for the Hunger Games, and both contained ambient sound, which I think played an important role in both films, especially considering they were both based like outdoorsy here in Appalachia. But even though it's more simplistic, I would rate the soundtrack for October Sky over The Hunger Games, just because I think it blends together with the movie a little bit better. They didn't really go for like the mainstream hit single that most movies kind of tend to lean towards today. So like I said before, my favorite movie out of the ones I watched was in fact October Sky. I feel like it gives outsiders a deeper perspective of what life in Appalachia is actually like. It for the most part downplays a few stereotypes such as hillbillies are stupid or hillbillies are gross. I mean, they're pretty clean cut, you know. But I think the message that you can take away from this movie is that you are bound by nothing. If you work hard enough, you can overcome your circumstances and turn them into something better. But that's pretty much all I got. Thanks.